calling us in. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortality is calling. We'll speak our names forever. Eclipse the world together. Gonna build an empire. Build an empire. Take the world by fire. Gonna build an empire. This is what we've been waiting for. They don't know we've been keeping score. This is our destiny. Can you hear the calling? At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortality is calling. Speak our names forever. Eclipse the world together. Gonna build an empire. Gonna build an empire. Gonna take the world by fire. Gonna build an empire. An empire. An empire.
Deep down, feel the rage inside. For all the tears I didn't cry, I feel it comfort me as and I can control my mind. Broken down in every road, I've been lost in the crowd. There's no way to crack the code, I'm out. I'm the shadow of the doubt. Wanna try to freak me out. No one can make me down. Everybody tryna break, everybody tryna break, everybody tryna break me out. I'm the shadow of the doubt. Wanna try to freak me out. Everybody tryna break me down. By the moon, I swear it's in my bones. Anger is going to blow up soon. Every time I'm alone, ready or not, I'm coming through. Gonna play the game now. Ooh.
the shadow ups and down. Wanna take you, freak me out. No one catching me down. Everybody's trying to break, everybody's trying to break, everybody's trying to break me down. I'm the shadow ups and down. Wanna take you, freak me out. Everybody's trying to break me down. Hey, bad guy.
I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. Through the silence. Through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. Through the silence. Through the silence. I can hear your voice. 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 I can hear your
Turn that up, we got no time to wait. The dance floor's waiting, go and get a taste. Take off the edge, go ahead, get loose. It's here for the taking, you got nothing to lose. The DJ's done, but I've only just started. You stole my heart with your curvy dancing. I found the person I've been dying to meet. So cheers to dancing with your two left feet.
So join me, babe, let's have a night to remember. 'Cause I just want to be young forever. So join me, babe, let's have a night to remember. 'Cause I just want to be young forever.
Turn that up, we got no time to wait. The dance floor's waiting, go and get a taste. Take off the edge, go ahead, get loose. It's there for the taking, you got nothing to lose. The DJ's done, but I've only just started. You stole my heart with your curvy dancing. I found the person I've been dying to meet. So cheers to dancing with your two left feet.
So join me, babe, let's have a night to remember. 'Cause I just want to be young forever. So join me, babe, let's have a night to remember. 'Cause I just
Round the Bay, Zest, Dream, Road, Dark, 2021 GSL Season 3 Codex. Africa TV Free Cook Studio Live 2021 GSL Season 3.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the round of 8, the GSL. I'm tasteless. With me is the great, the one, the only Artosis. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited about the round of 8 beginning. We did hear that SOS has retired.
Yeah.
So that's
one of
a
the
bit
greats.
sad.
It's
yeah.
Look, I don't know if we're ever going to have another player like him ever.
Not in this game.
We were talking about this before we went live, but like, what an innovator. I don't care what race you play. I don't care what game you play. You look at the way that he approached StarCraft, and I mean, he did things we just didn't know you could pull off in an RTS.
Yeah. He was brilliant. There's actually no one like him in Brood War either. In Brood War's long history, like the closest would be probably Null Ra, but he's actually eclipses that. And honestly, like SOS is in the running for the greatest of all time for the Protoss race, right?
I think so.
It's very clear. 2 World Championships, I am Katowice, 2 GSL Finals. He's done so much in his career, so it's sad to see him go, but definitely one of the most accomplished, winningest players we've ever had, and
did it on his own terms.
He definitely did it his own way, man. Yeah, sad. It's kind of sad, but here we are in the round of 8.
I'm curious to see where he goes next, if he's going to have a different path, a different career in esports, do something totally different.
He'll probably go trade stock futures and become a billionaire in like 2 years.
Probably. I mean, also you got to keep in mind, like, I think there's a mistake that happens in gaming and esports because there's so many young people in it that, like, you can't be a pro or be good as you get older or you know, new game. We're all actually very young. Even you and I are Artosis. There's going to be a long future ahead, and who knows, maybe SOS does something incredible in another game that's not out yet.
Maybe. That would be cool to see.
So, today, we've got a very special set of games. We've got Zest versus Dream, and then we're going to end it with Rogue versus Dark.
Yeah. So obviously that ZVZ is so impactful for the tournament. I think you got to look at whoever wins that is probably the favorite of the tournament. And then, of course, Zest Dream. This is kind of like the underdog matchup. You don't expect one of these guys to really win the tournament. But you know what? Let's hear what they
Today's
have
round
to
of
say.
8 match will determine the first round of 8 round of 4 player of this season. And the two players have a lot in common. They both started in Code A, and they're both the toughest guys in GSL in terms of their physique. Alright, we're gonna have an interview with Zest and Dream. Hello. Hello. First of all, Zest. After several years, you have now been placed in a happy group in the round 16 group nomination. So in the round of 8, you said as long as it's not Maru, you're fine. So it's not Maru this time. How are you doing? You know, when Maru advanced as the first place, I knew that this is my season. On the other hand, Dream, you have made it to round of 8 as well. Now your opponent is saying that he's gonna have a easy time today. What do you think? You know, I too thought that as long as it's not Maru, I was fine too. So you have beaten SOS and Creator on the way here. And you actually said that Zest is not as good as before. He's not as solid. So do you think this is your chance to go to round 4? Well, at the time, you know, I said that as a provocation, but right now he's beside me and I'm kind of scared, intimidated. I think Zest is one of the top tier Protoss players out there. But he does definitely have some flaws and weaknesses, so I'm going to exploit that and win today. So Zest, any pressure on you today? I'm really thankful to Dream. I actually didn't have any motivation so far,
그렇게 말해줘가지고
and since Dream provoked me last time, that actually served me as a motivation. So I practiced really hard.
두 선수 오프라인 다전제 공식전으로 오프라인 다전제 무대가 한 번도
And so far, there has
없었습니다.
been no
그래서 오늘
official
경기가
best of
더더욱
series
기대가
between you
되는데요.
two in
오늘
offline
첫
matches.
오프라인 다전제를
So this is the
앞두고
first
두
time.
선수 스코어 예상 들어볼까요?
So any score predictions ahead of today's match? Zest, you first.
군대 0이나 군대 1 정도.
Either 3-0 or 3-1.
압도적인 승리를 예상.
Oh wow, an overwhelming victory. Then what do you dream?
저도 3대 0이나 3대 1 정도로.
I too think 3-0, 3-1.
번외로 이거 팬들이 궁금해하는 질문.
This is actually a question for the fans.
So
So we are curious as to who would win in an arm wrestling match between you two. What do you think, Zest?
이게 근육이 아니라 다 살이어가지고.
You know, I don't have muscles. It's all just like fat.
조준혁 선수는
I think I'm gonna lose. What about you, Dream?
사실은 자신이 없어서.
I'm not good at arm wrestling. No confidence there.
다크나 JYP 형이랑.
And I think Zest should go up against GRP or Dark instead. Not me. Right, both giving humble answers. Alright, let's talk about the match. So before we start the match, anything you want to say to each other? So Zest, you have a lot of the lines, so what do you want to say?
제가 원래 8강 하기 전까지는
Before the round of 8,
우승까지 목표가 아니었는데.
winning the championship this season was not my goal. But right now, I think I have a good shot, so I'm gonna practice really hard and try to win today. So Dream, in your first round of 4, you had a very bitter loss. This time, you're very desperate for the win. So anything you want to say?
일단
First of all, I'm gonna win no matter what.
만약에 동렬이 형이 4강에 온다면.
And if I do win and Ro comes to the semifinals, I'm gonna beat him and take my revenge. And today I'm gonna have an entertaining match. Who will be the round of 4 player of the last season of GSL this year? Let's kick it up now.
All right, wrong answer for the arm wrestling match.
Yeah. Zest looks like he could rip a phone book in half if you look at his hands.
Absolutely.
Faceless. Zest is the type of guy that declaws his kitten by squeezing its paws. Okay.
I think
Zest
the
doesn't
next
peel
question,
his bananas to eat them.
I think the next question you're going to ask is, okay, now who wins in a game of mercy?
Once again,
Yeah.
Zest. Terrans
Zest,
can't
okay.
help but to whine.
This is going to be a fun match. I don't know about you, man, but I have a hard time really calling what the results are going to be here. I think this could be a 3-0 in either way. It could be really close.
I would be very surprised if Dream can 3-0 Zest. I think that's a tall order. I do think Zest is going to take it, honestly. I really like Dream's Terran versus Protoss overall. I think he is quite good at the matchup. But he's not like Bunny and Maru tier, you know?
Right.
If it was Bunny or Maru here against Zest, I'd be like, all right, no problem. We can do this. But yeah, no, I think Zest is a bit favored. Kind of feeling like a 3-1, 3-2 for him.
You might be right. I mean, Dream is really playing out of his mind, though. Zest, I do feel like sometimes it's really hard for me to tell where he's at, right? Sometimes he looks like he's on top of the world, and then other times he can really flounder. But we're going to see now as we go into the first match here in the round of 8. I think it's probably pretty split, even on where fans are voting who's going to win. Or even who you're cheering for, right? These guys are both players that have a big backing.
Yeah, I would say so. And yeah, look at that. He knocked out SOS. He's the last guy that could play SOS professionally.
Crazy.
How messed up. But yeah, I tell you, I would really like, because this is Zest's last season, he's going to the military really soon. I would like to see him win. Like, I want to have a Protoss that's a 3-time champion in GSL, because there isn't one.
Yeah.
Like,
this is
him
true.
and MC are at 2 wins.
People meme about this a lot, but if you really look at it, it's like Protoss don't win that much, guys.
Yeah,
like
really,
it's
GSL. Like,
all the
they
results
almost
are out
never
there.
win.
Yeah,
it's wild. It's like so Terran and Zerg dominant.
And honestly, if you look back at the history of the players, besides the 2 you named, SOS, somebody who was really dominant, you know.
Oh yeah, but not in GSL.
Not in GSL, oddly enough. I really always thought we were going to eventually have an SOS win, but you know, the last couple of years he hasn't looked as strong. And
yeah,
I guess he's retired. Keep in mind, sometimes we do see people come back. This happens especially with StarCraft when pros say they're going to retire. Occasionally they
normally when people
resurface.
actually retire, they just disappear.
Yeah,
that's definitely. I've noticed
when
over
people
the years,
announce it,
Well, especially if you're not important and you announce it. Like with SOS announcing, I'm like,
This is
okay, he's
happening
probably
so much
gone.
with StarCraft 1 foreigners.
Dude, yeah, no, anytime someone, like I remember seeing TT1 announce that he retired in StarCraft 1,
Yeah.
and he was literally on practicing later that day.
I know a couple
That was
Europeans that did
hilarious.
this too.
No, this
like,
has
I'm
happened
quitting,
so
and I'm
many times.
like, I swear to God, 2 days ago you said you were quitting, and now you're in this,
Yeah,
this
no
channel
one-
with everybody else.
No one truly ever quits StarCraft all
Yeah.
the way.
No, StarCraft is a lifelong addiction.
It's in our blood.
We're going to go to our first map. It's going to be on GSL Nautilus. This is a best of 5. The winner moves on to the round of 4 of the GSL Code S.
GSL Season 3, Codex.
Oh.
Okay, so immediately a probe is sent out. Would it be cool if they made the pylon warp in faster there?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have like only buildings down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's first pylon.
So we don't normally see proxies on 4-player maps. It's not as common, I should say. But if you're going to do it, you have to do it in the center, unless you're really doing some kind of an odds build.
Yeah. A certain amount of games do have command center first here because it's a 4-player map.
Sure.
Look at this online, 108 to 72. God, these guys are grinders.
Now that is a cool stat there. That goes to show how much history we have here in StarCraft 2.
Dude, did you see this thing that like Bly has over 10,000 wins in tournament play?
Oh, that's insane.
How crazy! Like the grinding life. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is there's always tournaments on.
There's always
For sure. There's
tournaments. Yeah, if
always
you wanna
something you
play,
can compete
You want to
in.
compete in StarCraft, man?
And you have to have that at all levels.
Yeah, we got you covered there. All right, so Zest's gonna find him, and it's a quick factory, so I mean, you can't expect for this Zealot to really do very much. Can you, Tasteless?
So, yeah, there's going to be a Zealot inbound here on the map. A second one is coming. Oh, no, he's going to wait until the two are there. That makes sense. This is something you see occasionally with proxies where it's better to spring them all at once instead of have one show up. Because once you see the one Zealot there, you realize, oh, he's got buildings outside my base. Since he hasn't been scouted yet, I guess he can wait to really pack a punch when he comes out with this. So there's the second Zealot.
I think he should wait for the Stalker
This
as
is
well.
funny because this is actually like a Brood War build you can do against Terran. But we don't normally see it in StarCraft 2. But let's see how it's dealt with. Now that
he's switching to an add-on there. Oh, okay. Hold on.
the Wallen's up.
And the proxy starport. So it looks like he wants to do a Hellion drop, but obviously this is going to slow him down a little bit. The SCV is going to finish the depot before he can kill it off, so the repair will occur, but he can push back the Marine momentarily at least.
Yeah, now he's going to go for the depot that's the furthest away from the SCVs. He can actually hit that SCV making the bunker. I don't know if he's going to be able to kill it in time. The Hellions come out, and he actually did not repair this in time, and he's going to break through. That's insane.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy to not repair it that quickly. Maybe he thought that he would just turn around.
Yeah.
But he did not, so we're actually getting a decent amount of kills here. I thought for sure he'd turn and get that one kill.
I thought he might get 2 more kills than that, but pretty impressive stuff. He tore down that depot. I think that could have honestly been handled a lot better by Dream, but what are you going to do? Now, the star port is finished, but this is an awkward position because, you know, when you hide the starport there, you're expecting to send Widow Mines and Hellions across the map, get right outside their base and drop, but you can't really do that if you have this much pressure outside. But seeing that these Stalkers are not outside the entrance, he can go ahead and actually move out and do that.
Yeah, moving up now, we'll see exactly where that gateway is, which is annoying again because he has to kind of go around the center now. Doesn't want to show exactly what he's bringing up.
There's a chance that the position here for Zest could be pretty flimsy. You know, obviously the disadvantage about doing a build like this is that your gateway is far away until you can warp in easily. Okay, so here we go. He is going to do that. and drop these Hellions in here. The medevac is going to be shot down. Zest in pretty good shape, but let's see how many probes are killed first.
Yeah, I actually like how he's dealing with this. The fact that he hasn't moved any probes, I think, is optimal.
That was
okay.
sick.
Yeah, he gets some kills there. So 6 probes end up falling, but this is still okay for Zest, I think.
Well, I mean, the truth is that Terran needs to start playing catch-up economically. He needs to land this command center here. And, you know, Widow Mines are scary, but they could, well, let's see if he does it, but I think there is a chance if this is played correctly, he could just run across the map with his Stalkers. And he's going to kill both of these Widow Mines here. Yeah.
Oh!
That's sick.
Oh, my God.
That was so close.
The
right?
lasers chased him into the ground. I thought he might not quite get him there, but he did.
As long as that Stalker fires its shot and the animation's out, it will connect. And so, let's see what's next here for the Protoss. I mean, Terran is expanding quite late. We're just a little bit past 5 minutes here. The CC is only just now getting lifted off and sent over here.
And he's going to have that probe advantage, so even though he lost a decent amount to the harassment, he's still all right. He's actually got a lot of Stalkers out already. I'd be pretty surprised if he's not going Twilight at the moment. He does, of course, have a couple observers sending one across the map for scouting.
Yeah, I think Blink and a War Prism would not be a bad call. We see the third base is about to be set up as well. Tempo-wise, this is pretty good for Zest. You know, there was a back and forth in the early game, but basically, Zest, I would say, is in a pretty comfortable spot. He's not going to win yet, but it should be a bit more of an uphill fight here for Dream.
Yeah, and don't forget, he had to fly that starport all the way home, so it's not like you're afraid of more medevacs coming in or a Banshee or anything like that. And it looks like Colossus Tech going to be coming up instead of that Twilight that I suggested. So, you know what? I think that's going to work completely fine, considering this is most likely a frontal push that's going to be coming in. Yeah, that actually makes more sense now that I think about it, right? Because if his medevacs are this much later and he's just producing like Siege Tank Marine right now, Colossus is the perfect counter to that because you don't actually need Blink to catch medevacs right now.
Yeah.
So great idea here from Zest, who, I mean, his third base is going to be finishing up. I mean, Forge, Twilight, looking very good.
Yeah, he's getting into a healthy position here. And this is not an easy map for the Terran to try to push across. I think it's going to be a little bit here before we can even really find any opportunities for the Terran, especially with this being cross spawns. But look, I said that, but he's moving out now. So let's see where this game goes. This may be a situation where Dream feels like he needs to get something done and get it done now. It does seem like we are a little bit in between tech. I'm sorry, is the first Colossus out, or is that the first one making?
That's the first one right there.
First one making, okay. So this Colossus is going to finish as the Terran army would get there. Thermal Lance is still a ways to go.
Yeah, he's got a couple sentries in there as well, so I think he's going to be all right, right? Like, if you can just slow him down a little bit. One Colossus. Oh, that is the same Colossus.
Okay,
never mind,
sorry.
never mind. So yeah, a little bit easier than what we were thinking about there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to barely have one, and then we'd have to see if it gets sniped or not. Ooh, this is...
Good tank shot right there.
Yeah. He's going to unsiege. Now, there's only 2 tanks. You're going to have to sometimes leapfrog the tanks to get over here. This angle's not great for the Protoss, but there may just be too much here. No Guardian Shield. There it is now. Immediately shot down. And he is going to snipe that Colossus with ease, but there appears to be enough here for Protoss, despite a pretty damn good engage, honestly, from Dream. I think the rest of these units warping in here can basically take this out.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He has, like, no shield batteries anywhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a good engage overall from Dream. I think the 2 siege tanks targeting the sentries down was magnificent.
Yeah, that changed the math pretty quickly. But the question is really going to be, does he have enough to finish up this push? Killing the army is one thing. You really need... Oh, my God. I think he actually is going to win this. I was going to say if he can control that Colossus a little bit better, but good targeting.
Yeah, that was deadly from Dream. I'm actually honestly surprised that he was able to break through that easily.
Me too.
When you look at the army, it looked like one that Zest would have been okay with, but he got the initial tank shot, then he killed the sentry, so no Guardian Shield, which Guardian Shield makes such a huge difference in fights like these. I mean, that plus the siege tanks were just perfectly positioned.
Yeah.
They, like, he couldn't kill him from the high ground easily or anything like that either. Wow. That's a sharp Dream right there.
It was really nice.
Look, he's almost smiling right now.
I think that Zest needed to try to meet that army somewhere in the middle of the map, even with one Colossus, force the siege, try to back away. The angle was hard enough where the tanks, you couldn't really reach them with anything. Yeah. And there were a lot of tank shots that connected. I'm not saying Zest would have won, but maybe if he could try to have an engagement where it's going to be a little bit better for him, he could pull something off. Anyways, guys, Game 2 has loaded up. Zest for stream continues on.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Good Game Gaming, Dream.
With the gas first build, cool. And yeah, I gotta say that it was just such a nice kill from Dream. It seems like he is very, very prepped for this. And again, I'm not going to really take it back. I think that Zest's idea there for the way that he took his third base, went Colossus tech only at first, it seemed good to me. It seemed like it was a solid choice to go against Marine Tank with. Like, you want to have, and he had 2 Colossi, his Thermalance was finishing as he got there, but still too much. So yeah, maybe Dream can just pull this off.
Yeah, let's see. I think especially with that push, Dream had a very good handle on that. You know, whenever you have like a proxy on one side that's kind of successful, and then you could see the setup for the drop that was hiccuped, it makes for a unique game, right? A lot of StarCraft 2 games, if both sides are doing standard build orders, you really do have a pretty good idea of where you're at and where your opponent's at, but a game like that's unique. So the fact that Dream really sensed that he had a really specific window to attack him in that moment and punish him as the third base was finishing. As the second Colossus came out, that really shows that his instinct is there.
Yeah. Zest Probe just going to check that factory timing and then die, unfortunately. So a little bit sloppy. Dream has to be feeling good about that already. Nexus on the way here still. And where are we going from this? Okay, right into the command center. I'm interested. Okay, so tech lab for the factory. Now, do you think he's going to swap these around, or are we going like siege tank?
I don't think he's. I think he's going to swap it around. I don't think he's going to go siege tank, but let's see. Let's see what he does.
Okay, 2 Marines Cyclone. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
that's completely fine too.
Yeah,
that's kind of a catch-all for anything weird Protoss might do early on, for sure. Cyclone's a pretty handy unit in that sense. Cyclone really changed the way Terran operates at the start of the game. Like, there's a lot that you just can't do to them when because they can get a Cyclone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Where before that, I think Terran there was a degree of kind of vulnerability for Terran. You know, everything was like good but could be punished if you controlled it right.
It's one of those fun units too that like don't really scale all that well.
Yeah. Terran has a couple units like that, like the Reaper, the Cyclone, unless Gumio's playing, where apparently you just keep going Cyclones, but...
yeah, there's some battle mech variants where you can kind of keep making them, but yeah, it is one of those units that's very good defensively early and then kind of doesn't do as well later. Robo on the way with Blink. Looks like a 2-gate Blink, so this is going to be one where you're taking a third base relatively quickly. And another Rax on the way here. Cyclone's just going across the map. And still no shield batteries here. So a Cyclone's going to walk across against no shield batteries. That does make me a little bit nervous, but he's got 3 Stalkers, so he should be all right.
Yeah, and the optics from the Terran's perspective, Protoss is playing a very normal game here. You know, getting the base up, getting the Stalkers to have defense, to also have the opportunity to attack out here. Now, a second Cyclone's been made, and a tank's being made behind that. Is there a possibility of some kind of a weird early 2-base attack?
2 Cyclones, a siege tank, and Marines without any upgrades against Blink Stalkers doesn't feel great because the
well, we don't
Cyclones
normally see 2 Cyclones roaming like this.
Yeah.
So like, it makes me wonder.
I mean, Cyclones in certain situations are really, really nice, but against Blink, do they really do anything? It's like you lock on, you get like one shot, and then they blink away, or they blink forward, either one. Even without Blink, it's like, okay, well, you did some hull damage here.
And now Protoss can actually counterattack here. So I don't know. The just 2 Cyclones make me wonder like what the plan was, what he wants to get done with that.
Well,
now
if he finds a Stargate opener with an opener like this, I think he's going to feel a lot better about it, right? Because he might even have be able to like cancel a 3rd base that's coming up too quickly. But I guess like if you're going to blink into the main, you can't really blink away from the Cyclones, so it'll be a little bit more useful defending that.
Okay, here we go. He's going to maybe try to blink in behind the minerals over here. Wait, does he have Blink? He does not have Blink?
He does have Blink.
Okay, there we go. So he can come in here and try to draw some attention there. He's just now out of range of that tank.
Yeah, getting some good damage, honestly. 5 SCVs already killed.
And that's quite a bit. I mean, for really not losing almost anything at all, to get in and get out like that is a pretty good job.
Look at this, 6 gates being added as well as charge tasels.
it seems like he should be ready for a 2-base push this game.
Oh, yes. In fact, he's going to be the one pushing 2 bases.
Yeah. So for now, we have the pin set up still here for Zest. You know, between Blink and the Warp Prism, you have the Terran on the defense. And this is really where a good Protoss can thrive. You can really develop quite a lot of tech. You can see here all these gateways are finishing. And I think from here, the Protoss has to wait. You basically keep trying to get further and further ahead and make this really the Terran's problem. You don't need to do much else than that. You don't need to engage that much, although it seems like he's flirting with the idea of maybe coming back in with the Warp Prism. I think it'd be unwise with 2 Cyclones there. That's probably one of the only ways you could lose the game.
Well, I mean, he can do a pinning maneuver here, but I thought he might hit the front with the Stalkers, try to draw units out, and then go in with the Prism. But it seems like there's enough here. Maybe that Dream will not fall for a move like that. But there's 8 gates, you know? I feel like not using those gates for an attack here seems a little bit odd. But here's the push out. Okay, the Prism now going in.
Yeah, going for the counterattack play. Now this can backfire. He's got that drop coming in there. We haven't seen anything else warp in. So not truly a committed counterattack. Instead, just trying to pull some of the Terran's army back home to buy time. The whole idea is you try to slow the Terran down as much as possible and then attack in at the very, very last second. So as the 3rd base comes down, a push is going to be inbound. The Cyclone's ready to catch this Warp Prism.
Oh, no. No. Oh, man, that's a good catch right there.
That was pretty sick.
And now suddenly those 2 Cyclones have truly paid for themselves.
Yeah. So
wow.
That was extremely well done. Protoss is going to have a much more difficult time this game.
Yeah.
Now
Prism this early plus those 4 Zealots, they got like a little bit of damage. Oh my god,
wow,
there's
4 Immortals.
That's
maybe
cool.
He's fine actually.
Well, he's certainly not going to die.
I just like decided he was going to have Colossus for some reason. And then we get back there, I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I kind of like these mid-game ground pounding forces that are Immortal heavy because it's like really like you retain a lot of your army at the end of a fight. Immortals like put out so much damage. And they are so much more tanky than a Colossi as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you can get more of them here right now. So there's 5 Immortals out in this game. It looks like he wants to try to come in here with a little counterattack. Can he blink on top of this, I wonder? Decides not to. Probably a wise choice. I think he could have gotten away with it, but
if there were
you don't know.
Units like up that little ramp, ooh, you're losing a lot of Stalkers trying to get out of there. So yeah, backs up. Honestly, the army he's making, Tasteless, is really, really handsome, right? A huge amount of Immortals in it. He's going into Psystorm from here.
Yeah, he's been very much in control in this game, but I got to praise Dream here. He's really squatted away any of these kind of counterattack attempts here and basically opened the map up for himself.
It's funny, Dream is actually on more workers at the moment, so Zest didn't actually
get
like
right?
a complete...
well, the gates came pretty early, right?
Yeah, they did. It seemed like he wanted to get aggressive, and then he just kind of did not.
Yeah.
Maybe he was waiting for like pounding an army like you were talking about,
I think he was anticipating a 2-base push, and the idea is you just preempt it and smother it with your army.
Yeah, it can be a tricky thing. Like, you you know, as you're a pro gamer, you really want to produce all the time, but sometimes it is good to hold back a little bit, squeeze out some more tech, get those upgrades going, that type of thing. Now, this is a pretty big army walking over. He's up a good 20 army supply right now.
Okay, he's coming in now. Beautiful storm. 2 of them in a row.
Yeah, the storms are going to be amazing here as it comes up the ramp. And now, finally, the Immortals getting up here, but the Zealots have mostly bled off before the Immortals even joined the battle, but this is so Marauder heavy at this point.
Yeah, look at this hallucinated Archon that tanked so much. This game is over. Zest takes game 2, tying this up 1-1.
Smashed that one.
Yeah.
He really smashed that game. Wow. I like that too. It was cool the way that he played it, right? Like he did a very standard 2-gate Blink Ops opener.
Yeah.
He went into his third base. He pumped a ton of gates. He slowed down on forge upgrades, right? A lot of times you're like feeling like, oh, we got to get +1 attack, you know. But he just kind of had enough that he could have done. He could have stopped a push, and then he just went into Immortals to beef up his army. That was very cool. Very steady tech into Psystorm. Now the thing is, if that hadn't worked, he's only on 3 base for a very long time. He was less probes than we saw SCVs for Dream, so he kind of needed to punish a bit.
I think Zest needs to play more like that. You don't need to be that fancy. I think Zest's fundamentals are good. I think the way to play PvT right now is to basically stay back. You know. But let's see what's in store for us on Oxide. That's going to be our 3rd map of the night. I'm glad to see it's 1-1 so far.
Yeah.
Dream looked so good in that first game. I thought, oh man, maybe he is going to 3-0.
Honestly, he looked quite good in this game as well.
Yeah. Guys, our game has loaded up. Let's go.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Good Game Gaming, Dream.
There's another gas first opener there for Dream.
Yeah, let's see what happens in this game. There's Zest, I think, played a very clean, kind of withdrawn game. I did like, even though he probably got those gates a little bit too early, I think it didn't hurt him at all. You know, I think. Correct me if you think I'm wrong about this, but it does seem like it's a little bit tough for Terrans early on. Like if Protoss just plays safe and has that Stalker War Prism set up, and you just get the 3rd base and tech correctly,
they should just play like Maru.
They just play like Maru, man. Just
and
play like TY.
But no, it's
tough, right?
Yeah, Protoss has a lot of tactics. Those units early on very, very strong, and then obviously, you know, once you get into the splash damage, that becomes its whole own can of worms.
We did have the eBay thrown down there to stop the Nexus from being immediately made over there, but
also the way the SCV was going, I felt like he was actually going up to hide his factory up there.
Oh,
but
that
the pro
could be.
found it. Not 100% sure on that because like he could have just been going up that side to get the eBay block, but also he might have just changed it into eBay block because obviously when the probe sees you, you can't make a factory proxied, but he's definitely showing some good variety in his builds here so far.
And it's going to be a proxied Stargate. Now this is a Stargate after Nexus, so sometimes you're not anticipating something inbound like this when you see them open up to what looks to be pretty generic. But there's also a proxied starport here on the map.
That's kind of funny.
And they're neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, Hellion drop against Quick Oracle. Let's see how that goes down. Is he going to pop out a couple of mines? Oh, that's big.
Dude, and he can actually kill the SCV
Yes,
now.
he can. It's so hurt.
Yeah, I think he can kill it either way, but yeah, now this just screws up everything.
Yeah,
that is literally the worst possible time that you could have been
gambling. We gambling.
Gamble.
Oh,
my gamble.
The gamble. Oh, it didn't pay off.
That is literally the worst time to have that interrupted because you've already spent the money, right? It's something like 95% finished.
Yeah.
If it's spotted right away, at least you can cancel. He does send an SCV out and manage to complete it.
But isn't Zest now just going to pump out Phoenixes after this Oracle?
I think so.
And just like smile as he chases down the
laugh.
medevac?
He's going to laugh so his cheeks are hurting. He's going like, stop,
Yeah.
it's so
It's
funny.
going to feel like he blew up like 4 balloons. Your cheeks hurt once you blow up balloons, right?
Huh? I don't blow balloons all the time. I have no idea. What is this thing you think I do? I'm like, oh, yeah.
How do you get your balloons to have air in them?
You know I love balloons, Artosis.
Well, you are a clown,
Artosis,
Jesus.
yeah, you are a Protoss player, so.
Damn, man. Anti-clown.
The medevac's going to come in here, and, I mean, already 3 kills.
Oh, and he's actually just making more oracles. I thought for sure he'd go Phoenix.
No,
just
same. I thought 100% he's just going to go Phoenix.
Well, you just right-click a Phoenix onto that, and it's like, all right, well, that's not going to work out for you anymore. Oh, my God, he anticipates it.
That was sick. Totally called out the fake. Looks like we're going to only have 4 probes killed, the same number as Hellions that were killed off, so not cost efficient.
No, not so much. And 26 workers against 39. Not looking too hot for Dream. See if he does a follow-up, kind of like we saw in Game 1. It does look very similar to the build he did here.
So, from here, Protoss really gets to be in control of the game. And I think it's going to be a frustrating moment here for Dream. Now, does he have any mines down here to protect these SCVs, or is this just going to be another massacre?
Well, he has a Cyclone, right? But it's not standing right there, so
yeah,
going to lose a Mule and an SCV.
And the Dark Shrine is going to be the next play here. Trying to get that out.
That was kind of an interesting Dark Shrine timing.
Yeah, he might feel like there's some opportunities for him to send DTs in. And, you know, it's a very cheap way to switch into Archons. Obviously, you don't get Psystorm later on in the game, so this is going to be fun to see how this pans out.
Yeah, and it could just be because he's already done economic damage. Just the fact that you have DTs does economic damage.
Yeah, well, he also might realize that if kind of like in Game 1, if Dream feels uncomfortable, he might just do an immediate push. And to have quick, cheap Archons right away is always good.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you lose a lot of SCVs, you're really paying attention to your mules, right? So if you don't have any scans and suddenly your push is shut down by 2 DTs, well, that's no good. That's a bad situation for the Terran player, Tasteless, am I right?
Oh, you are right. So, quick little tag there to keep, you know, tabs on what the Terran's doing. And, you know, the game's going to go on, but it's becoming very similar to what happened in Game 2, in that Protoss is on the 3 bases, has a pretty good position here. DTs are now warping in as the rest of the gates are finishing up.
Oh my God, actually blinks up immediately here and is trying to trade against these Marines. I don't think it's actually working that well for him, though.
Yeah, well,
that didn't seem very good.
I think that was an unwarranted move for him to come in like that. Yeah, you got to be careful. I know that, you know, in moments like this, you're always looking for an opportunity. Oh my God, this DT's just going to get in.
He just walks right up the ramp there. He does have scans, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's this much action going on here with the Stalkers, this may go unnoticed. 8 SCVs, 9.
Oh, man.
And he sees this one here, but I think the one in the main has actually gone undetected. And this is a pretty tactical move that we don't really normally see here in GSL, but you can see the ideas behind it. I mean, it's almost like you're less playing a strategy game and more like a fighting game or something like that. You know, you're going to basically force him to not react quickly enough, and, you know, his screen might be drawn to the wrong spot. And as the dust settles, 20 SCVs have been killed. This is 64 workers to 29.
Yeah, I think you have to go all in his Dream immediately here.
No.
Like, you have to go right now because he did spend a lot of army to do that. So your army is not going to get better compared to Zest's army from here.
The problem is that Zealot charge is going to be done. There's more gateways coming here, but I feel like there is no right move. There's probably the best of a bunch of bad moves that you can do, and I think the one you're saying he should do is probably the best one he can go for.
Yeah, the amount of SCVs that have been lost. Well, he starts +1 armor, which tells us a different story, that he wants to try to grind this game back.
DT Blink is coming here as well.
It seems unlikely that this game can be grinded back, right? Against this many workers?
He might still attack Artosis. He might just... It's like,
yeah,
maybe it's not the way to play, but it's like, I have an eBay, so let's just start that upgrade. I'm going to play from behind on in every way, but that's all I can do, is try to push uphill.
Lots of tags going down. Really trying to keep an eye on exactly what Dream's plan is. I actually would like to see a couple stasis wards put out because, you know, if he does go all in with a push, one stasis ward can actually destroy it. And you know he has to save scans for DTs.
Right.
So, like, it's a little bit harder for him to check for those stasis wards as well. All right, medevac loaded up, going around the map. Zest bringing his stalkers down. He's now at 20 army supply.
Very bad angle for the Terran. Protoss trades very efficiently in that moment. Spotter Zealot here at the 3rd. Zest knows the end is almost here. He just has to have a clean finish on the army that's going to push out, because right now Terran cannot take a 3rd base without Protoss picking a fight. If Terran comes across the map, Protoss will take a fight. So basically we have to have Terran win in some pretty crazy way here. And it looks like Dream is just getting weaker and weaker as time passes. You see the Stalkers snipe the medevac and then retreat. He trades what he can and then blinks away. And unless something pretty insane for Dream happens here, this should end up with a 2-1 lead for Zest in this best of 5.
Definitely. He just has so much army supply right now. Get some Zealots here into the natural. They aren't going to do very much, but just chasing down this little force that cleared out his Stargate. More Zealots coming in from that other side. Yeah, Zest is being a little bit careful here. I actually thought he would just try to force his way up, but I think it's probably the right choice to actually pull back here.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple mines up there as well, so with the good micro of Dream, he probably would have just shaved down all the Zealots instead. Zest gets away with what he can. Ghosts on the way already. Always something I've liked about Dream's play is that he will add those ghosts in without being Psy-stormed first.
Yeah.
So many Terrans will not.
They're like, damn.
Oh, Psy-storm, I better get ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, I think that time
this
is
game's
passed.
already over.
But yeah, the thing is here for Zest, he's going 2nd Robo and Colossus tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got that support base, so that's going to do very well against the ghosts in general.
Okay, now he's got some zoning over here, ready to take a fight. The 3rd base is going to be landed over here. He's also got DTs ready. He's got a Warp Prism out now.
He's got 15 DTs with Blink, man.
That's funny. So this is going to be not so much to try to blink and get away, but to blink on top or behind the army so that the surround is like a 360.
Yeah. You charge into them and blink behind them.
Yeah.
I've seen people blink on top as well because you just kind of...
Keep in mind how much damage a DT does in one hit. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's this funny thing. I don't think it was how Blizzard designed them or what they were thinking about with Blink, but it makes sense. And so here we go.
Oh, Liberator's getting up here, and he blinks forward. He doesn't quite get on top of the army, but does it really matter? The DT's shredding through absolutely everything. They are fighting units. He makes Archons on top of the army. GG.
GG.
The BM Archon morph, I love it.
Nice play there by Zest. I think a lot went wrong there for Dream, but really that game was won with the DT blink that killed, I think it was 20 SCVs.
Oh yeah, that little DT run-in was...
not the final fight, but really before that. And that was the point where it's like, well,
he did so much
unless
damage.
you can counterattack right now and do something, and he couldn't. Basically, Zest takes that game, and Zest is only 1 win away from being the first player in the top 4 here in GSL Code S. But I think this will probably go to Game 5. It's possible Zest wins 3-1, but so much of these games just come down to some of the nuance in the early game, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. We've seen some interesting openings coming out of Dream overall.
Yeah.
On Zest's side, it's pretty standard, I guess, other than the proxy gate at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was a different build for like a 4-player map, but all right, we're going to go into set 4 after a quick commercial break, guys. Don't go away.
She was in love with a boy, in love with a girl. think about it, 'cause I'm dying, baby. If you want it, you just have to take it. If you feel something, boy, you gotta tell me. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why it's stuck in me. I like but how you taste. Give me the signs, I'll take the step for you. No, I like you, baby, you know. I want you to take control. Alright, baby, alright, no. I like you, baby, you know. I want you to take control. Alright, baby, alright, baby.
어려워도 이렇게 멈추면 내가 아니지. 오늘이 모여 새로운 날을 만든다. 나의 레벨은 다르다. 어나더 레벨 핫식스.
함께 모이면 홈파티. 홈파티엔 먹방. 먹방엔 칠성사이다. 맛있어. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함. 칠성사이다.
퇴근하고 뭐해?
퇴근하고? 오늘은 유셰프, 내일은 유런업, 주말엔 유목수.
그걸 다?
본캐부터 부캐까지 하고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피. 칸타타 콘트라베이스.
이번 주 등산 어때? 등산 캠핑? 그래서 주말엔 낚시?
내가 낚인 거지.
그래도 나오니까 좋잖아.
일상에서 취미까지 나누고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피. 칸타타. 아이시스 8.0을 챙긴다는 건 건강한 생각까지 챙긴다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지. 아이시스 8.0. 아이시스 8.0을 연다는 건 조금 이른 아침을 연다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지. 아이시스 8.0.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Round of 8. Zest. Dream. Road. Dark. 2021 GSL Season 3 Codex. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live 2021 GSL Season 3.
What up, everybody? We're back, and it's time to go to Game 4. Zest is close to just walking out and going on to the round of 4. Unless Dream does something pretty incredible, a lot of these games have been a little bit weird in the early game. Like they're both trying to do something to each other, and their builds are basically not designed to interact with the other person's build, but one is better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
TVP especially, I think.
Yeah. So many different ways to proxy, different ideas of play with that. We're going to go to Romanticide here for map number 4. Do you think Dream can come back and bring this to 2-2, or is Zest just going to close this one out?
Ooh, Romanticide, you can have some very different plans here because of how easy it is to turtle, so I think it's hard to say. I could see Dream winning, though.
Okay, let's go to Game 4 and find out.
GSL Season 3 Codex. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Zest. Good Game Gaming, Dream.
All right. Yeah, this is a map that is tends to complement the player who turtles, but there are ways, there are workarounds for that we were talking about. So we'll see if anybody does anything crazy. We do have on both sides probes and SCVs out on the map, although it looks like Zest is just to confirm there's no proxy, where Dream does appear to have some plans to build maybe a factory somewhere in the middle of the map here. Or maybe not. Maybe he just wants us to straight up scout with it.
Could be like eBay block he's going for.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a little bit annoying. Yep, there it is. So we're just going to slow that down a little bit, force Zest off of his build. And I think that, in general, that's a pretty decent move against Zest, just because he does optimize his build so well that something like this can mess him up.
Well, that's always been the thing with Zest. We were talking about SOS and how he really just did stuff so differently in the game. You look at Parting and his rushes and his cheeses are so strong, but he still is able to play a macro game. And it always seems like Zest just is the guy who has these optimized Protoss builds where he has the most at certain points of time, is very good at pushing and dictating the game. And there's moments where he's really on top of the world because of that. The issue is I think his style of play doesn't always age well. Whatever he's figured out, eventually the other races kind of
in fresher metas, he's always stronger.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
for sure. It's really funny to watch because the different Protoss players especially thrive in different ways. Like, the longer we're on the same patch, the stronger stats gets.
Yeah, exactly.
The worse the game is for Protoss, the better Hero gets.
Right.
Fresh situations, fresh patches are really good for Zest because he'll optimize the best thing that there is. I think that's a very exciting and cool thing about the Protoss pros, because you don't see that as much with the other players, honestly.
Yeah, it's
like Terrans have superpowers that they're good at, but it's not like, oh, we need a patch to be at least 3 months old for this guy to win. It's not really like that with the Terran pros, right?
No, but I think Protoss
and
is
Zerg
also...
pros, they just all spread creep and make broken banelings, man. That's it.
It is a funny thing, though. But Protoss, there's a lot of ways you could play it, and I think that there's so many ways that you could be deceptive, or there are so many different ways you could handle matchups that, it does seem to lend itself to different Protosses at different times. So those two Adepts actually dive in there.
Dude, they got a lot.
They got a lot. And he's completely fine with trading out those Adepts to kill off those Marines. Regardless, though, a Cyclone's going to come out across the map.
It's that double Cyclone build again, but he is running into Blink and Robo.
Right.
Are we going to have those 3 additional Stalkers? Because here comes the Cyclone. I guess you can just run up the ramp to break the vision.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. Comes right back down. Only losing shields.
Cyclone lock-on is a funny thing.
I remember when we first saw it, I was like, this is too good.
It was
so strong. Yeah.
When it first came out,
people
it was.
figured out how to deal with it. This is insane.
Well, it's been nerfed a few
this?
times, but I remember the first few games I played against it, they literally just make a Cyclone and walk up and lock on my Nexus.
Yeah,
and I would lose my Nexus. It was so stupid. Okay, another Cyclone coming now. Uh-oh.
Well, really good control here.
The other Cyclone comes in from the other side.
Oh, but he's going to lose 2 Stalkers. Oh, my God.
Those Cyclones are so red.
Yeah.
They're so red.
Well, he could just snipe some workers and maybe get away. He has to be careful not to overextend.
He needs to run!
Get out of there!
Well, they're dead, right? Oh, man.
Blink is almost done.
So fast. Oh, they're trying so Take breaths. It's like falling down the endless pit in a bad TV show from the 90s. Damn, those Cyclones have seen some stuff, Tasteless. They are back, though. They're safe for now. Sorry, boys. I got to send you back to the battlefield. There's Stalkers in the main.
So, I mean, he's got a position here that could be a real threat right now. He's got to be careful. It's true, those two stalkers are still alive. But if he gets vision here into the main, oh man.
Well, he can. Couldn't he get blink? I mean, can he get stim in time? Ooh, a tank.
You know, he might. I don't know if that's the first thing you're going to fire at. Okay, he actually takes out.
It's like, why would I get stim when I can kill everything?
He can just kill this bunker, right?
He could have if he was targeting, but he's been very willy-nilly about what he's actually targeting.
Okay, so he gets out.
It was
pretty nice.
I feel like with slightly better. Look at that cyclone, just looking, running backwards as quick as it can.
Oh, this is sick.
Oh God, yeah.
He doesn't
Blink
have enough
on this.
SCVs. Yeah, this is the tricky thing when you're fighting this Blink, and it's so important he got that tank earlier. Had he not gotten that tank, I don't think this would be possible. But this is quite a lot, and again, you could juggle with that Warp Prism and basically keep the Stalkers alive. Very difficult for the Terran to micro against this, and we may actually be at the tipping point despite this tank coming here. He can just as easily go into the main, shoots down the Observer. That's huge.
Gets rid of a lot of his vision here. Has to blink back. Tank is siege. He needs to stay out of range of that because his stalkers are really soft right now.
Yeah, they're very squishy, and this is quite a bit of damage on this command center. In fact, I think Terran's going to have to try to come up here. But he might be able to just take out the CC, and I don't know if you can recover from that. In fact, he blinks in here. This game's over. Dream is done. Zest is going to move on to the round of 4 of the GSL.
Yeah, all right. That was pretty good by Zest, I think, overall. Right?
Awesome,
he did lose that one weird Colossus game. That was, I guess, probably the strangest game out of all of them. It felt like Dream actually prepped pretty well and was not playing poorly, but Zest was just on top of his punishes, that's for sure.
This has been just a crazy series so far. Congrats to Zest. We're going to go to that interview now, see how he's feeling. It was a 3-1 victory here against Dream. I think Dream played well, but it was not, clearly was not enough. Artosis?
I'm waiting for the interview, Taste. I just want to see what Zest has to say.
Well, let's go ahead and go to that interview right now.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming Zest defeats Dream, and he moves on to round of 4 of this season. Congratulations, Zest. Thank you. Wow, what a quintessential pro play today, Zest. This is your round of 4 after 3 years. How do you feel? Well, this time I really practiced like if this was the finals, and I'm really happy that the result was good. Did you feel pressure about this match? Not really the pressure. Like so far, I didn't have much motivation to win, but Dream really provided me with the motivation. So this is your round of 4 after 3 years, Zest. So was this kind of related to your lack of motivation as well? Well, when I was young, my passion was just so great. But after getting into my late 20s, I felt like my passion definitely declined. And I really wanted to regain that passion back. From today's match, we could definitely tell that you were very passionate about the game. In Laisha, you were able to win in terms of power, and you used the Dark Template so well. And then in the last game, you were able to use the Blink Stalker so well to gain the victory as well. First of all, in a PvT, it's really important to have the advantage in that game. So I definitely focus on that aspect. And before the match, you actually anticipated a 3-1 win for you, and that your prediction was correct. And this match could have been a 3-0, but it hasn't been. In the first game, the siege tanks were played so well, so I had a hard time going through that. And in practice, I didn't really face that kind of positioning, so I had some trouble. Right, that was today's review of the match. And your round of 4 opponent will be either Rogue or Dark, both champions in GSL. Very strong players. And whoever you meet, it will be a very hard match. And if you had the choice, who would you pick? there's not a player I prefer. The two Zergs are very strong,
그에 비해 떨어진다고
but I don't think I lack compared to those guys. And my goal is to win, so I'm gonna try really hard.
선수는 최근에 그래도 GSL 시즌 1에서 8강에서 만났었고.
And Ro, recently you met in GSL season 1 round of 8, and that time you got reverse swept by him. So you need to definitely take revenge against him. So do you hope for Rogue to advance? In the round of 8, I lost to Rogue twice. And after he meet me, he always lifted up the cup. So this time, if he comes to the round of 4, I'm gonna beat him.
자, 오늘 힘싸움의 교과서다운 모습 보여주신 주성
And that was
선수.
it from Zest, today's winner.
목표다 이렇게 말씀을
And you said this over and over again, your goal is to win. So anything you want to say before you go?
열정이 좀 최근에 많이 살아나가지고.
Well, you know, my passion has recovered a lot recently, so I'm gonna try really hard for the next match, and I'll try to win. Once again, congratulations, Zest. Thank you.
Zest moves on to that coveted top 4 spot in the last season of GSL CODES this year.
Yeah, and I appreciate Zest saying, you know what, my passion went away rather than my hands don't move anymore because I'm 2 years older.
Yeah, I'm older now. My hands can't move despite there being pianists that are 60 years old.
They get better over time, too.
They do. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely what it is, right? Like you do lose passion over time.
You go in and out. It happens. You know, it's the flow of life, man.
I love that he's in a good mood, though, and playing well.
Yeah, let's see how far he can go. Guys, quick game, and then a ZVZ. We'll be right back.
Breaking up, going back again. We know it's wrong, but we do what we can to fix what we had. When did it all become so bad? Is this love or something else? I just can't figure out myself. Maybe it's time for us to move on, but we can't let go, we can't be strong.
힘들어도
어려워도 이렇게 멈추면 내가 아니지.
오늘이 보여.
새로운 날을 만든다. 나의 레벨은 다르다. 어나더 레벨 핫6.
이렇게 좋은 날엔 홈캠핑이지. 홈캠핑엔 고기, 고기엔 칠성사이다. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함.
완벽하네.
칠성사이다.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
핫식스 타임! 저는 이 핫식스로 선수들에게 응원을 보내보도록 하겠습니다. 꽂혔다면 쏟아부어! 인생 직진 음료 핫식스!
새로운 친구가 나왔습니다. 핫식스 커피 럭키.
도전이 맛있는데?
꽂혔다면 쏟아부어 인생 직진 음료 핫식.
GSL Season 3 Codex. Round of 8. Zest. Dream. Road. Dark. 2021 GSL Season 3. Code X. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live. 2021 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time to go to the second half of the evening. Zest has survived into the round of 4. Up next, we've got Rogue versus Dark, a rematch from Season 2.
Yes, indeed. Dark is the guy that eliminated Rogue. It was a very close series. That one that Rogue generally wins, but Dark can win. And of course, Rogue was the favorite. I think Rogue is honestly the favorite of every tournament he enters. So we'll see if Dark can knock him out this time again.
All right, we're gonna have an interview with Dark and Rogue, who are going up against each other today. So we have the ex-champions Rogue and Dark, the most recent champion. And they're both very spectacular Zergs for sure. Hello. Hello.
자, 먼저 3연속 8강에 성공한 이병렬 선수부터
So Rogue, who's achieved third consecutive round of 8.
두 시즌 간격으로 우승을 하고 계신데요. 이번 시즌
You're winning GSL like 2 seasons apart so far.
이번 시즌에는 그 저번 시즌보다 느낌이 많이 좋은
Well, this season compared to last season feels really good.
2연속 8강에 성공한 박명호 선수도
And Dark has also made it to his second consecutive round of 8.
경기 때문에 피곤하실 것 같은데요.
So due to your recent competition, I'm sure you feel tired. How do you feel today?
좀 했어야 되는데 둘다 놀이 나가지고 10화 때문에 지금도 졸려요.
No, right now I feel really tired. Not in the best condition. I'm not sure how this is gonna affect today's gameplay, Dark. And last time you guys went up against each other, it was a really fierce match. And that time Rogue won. So how did you feel, Dark, watching him? You know, I couldn't get my seed.
시리즈가 또 배치가 됐잖아요. 설마 또 만나겠어라는.
And you know, I actually was wondering if I would actually meet him this time, and I did.
2등 진출을 해가지고 저를 만난 거잖아요.
And that time Rogue advanced at second place, and that's why he beat me. But this time, I think he's just doing it intentionally to play against me.
이 정도면 따라오는 거 아닌가 이런 생각을 하셨다고 하는데요.
So Rogue, that's what Dark's saying. So what about you? You know, I really rooted for a Terran to come up. I hated going up against Zerg. So I really rooted for Bunny. But then, you know, reluctantly, I got to play against Dark today. And it feels like the two Zergs, the top tier Zergs, are actually not fighting against each other, but they're actually praising each other. You know, even from back then, you know, I enjoyed watching Dark's plays. So I look up to him, and I learn a lot from Dark. And Dark has actually mentioned that he could win the GSL if he beats Rogue, and Rogue, you two said the same thing, that you would win if you beat Dark. So this season, do you feel the same, Dark? Now look at the brackets. I feel like the champion of this match is gonna be. The winner of this match is going to be the champion. What do you think about it, Rogue? What do you think? I feel like if I just overcome this match, I could lift the trophy. You know, if I do win today, I think I'm going to have plenty of time to prepare for the next match. So the two players are equally desperate for the win today. And before we get into the match, anything you want to say to each other? Rogue, what do you have to say? Last season, it was a very close loss for me. It was very unfortunate. This season gonna be very different from last season. So I'm gonna have to win today. I can win. Then what about you, Dark? Last season, it was really hard for me.
이번 시즌은
Well, this season,
시즌과 다르게 좀 쉽게 올라가고 싶어요.
unlike last season, I want to advance easily.
두 선수 모두 올해 두 번의 우승을 거머쥐고 싶다는 뜻을
And these two
밝혔었죠.
players both
오늘도
want to
그만큼
hold up their
엄청난
second
명성기가
trophy
나올
of
것
GSL
같은데요.
this year.
과연 현존 최고의 저그들
Who will be out of these two top tier Zergs
두 선수의
that
경기
lift up the trophy
시작하겠습니다.
in the GSL?
This may be the most impactful match in the round of 8.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously with what Dark did last season, and then just Rogue is he's so busted. He's so good.
Yeah.
I think, you know, whoever moves on here, I have to say, is the favorite to take the tournament.
I agree with that. And I think the player most likely to upset one of these guys in the finals is probably Party.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Right. I think Dark and Rogue have extremely different PVZs. Parting is proving to be like really adaptable and really tournament ready. Whenever we see him play, like he really knows how to train.
He knows how to kill people.
He knows how to win.
Yeah,
He'll do what it takes to win no matter what. But these are just the two power Zergs of the tournament. Again, this is a rematch. Rogue lost to Dark, and I think what's fair to say is an upset. I feel like usually if Rogue gets beaten by anybody, it's kind of an upset.
It's always, yes. Definitely would agree with that.
If you were a betting man, you could probably usually just bet on Rogue and make money.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's just so good. And he's been good for so many different ages and eras of StarCraft 2.
He has the most impressive resume in StarCraft 2. There's just not a question.
Yeah. But Dark proved to outmaneuver him. I think when we look at these two guys playing, it really is like the most advanced ZVZs we can see in the whole world. And so
they're ZVZs. Okay, so maybe on that. Like I don't know if I agree with you because sometimes they do stuff that looks really brilliant. Sometimes they do stuff and I'm like, is that stupid or is everyone else stupid? Like do you remember this game that they played where it was like Mass Nidus Spore with swarm hosts?
Yeah.
Do you remember this game?
Well,
it was
back,
the weirdest. Yeah. So
well, they know each other's play styles so well.
They do so well.
I mean, especially with
Well, they're the only two Zergs really keeping it up here.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times because these guys know each other so well, them being in the same region and having to constantly compete on the same stage, there's a lot of super advanced mind games that are going on that are basically to counter each other. So, this is, for me, the best of 5 I was most looking forward to. Again, I think the winner here is definitely the guy who moves on. And to maybe take the whole thing.
Yeah.
Unless we've got a couple more plot twists in this season of GSL Code S.
Yeah.
We're going to start this out on the map 2,000 Atmospheres.
Okay, well, it's Zerg vs. Zerg. I'm kind of most interested to see how many times we're going to have 12 pools. Because that's going to be mixed in here.
Yeah, the pool versus hatch opening game is going to be really interesting to see. Our game is ready, guys. Rogue vs. Dark starts now.
GSL Season 3, Code S. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Rogue. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark.
So, a couple of hatch firsts here.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long map. Makes sense. And of course, I mean, they have so many different styles that they both can play in this matchup, but the defining difference between them, look at that, okay, offline, it's bigly Rogue favored, and then online, it's even. So who cares about that? Offline is what we're looking at here. So definitely Rogue 3 times as many victories.
But I think the results of the present are also extremely important here. I mean, Dark did manage to beat him, and it was a great series.
Yeah, but I think it was an upset, like you said. If you look at the way that they're, how they actually match up against each other, I think that the advantage is Rogues.
I agree.
Rogue is really, really, really good hive tech, right? Like Lurker Viper, he is amazing with. He was the first Korean to really utilize that style ZVZ. And he's always been the best Supreme late game Zerg player, for my money. Whereas Dark, he is a mid-game player. Like, he is a guy that's, like, very oftentimes what you're going to see is Dark kill you as you're transitioning into Lurkers with, like, Ravagers, basically, Roach Ravager. And that's, I think, why Rogue does so well against Dark, is because Lurker style play shouldn't really lose to Roach Ravager style play. So Dark has to like pull out things that aren't necessarily his strength, like mutabuilds and things like that, or kill him early. And when you know that that is where your opponent's strengths lie, you can kind of prepare for that a bit more.
Yeah, I think the way that you describe that is very accurate. That basically Rogue is better at any more of the standard parts of the game, and Dark knows how to kind of punish you as you're in between tech. In any RTS game, you know, there's always development that happens if the game goes on long enough. If you have two players that actually know what they're doing, right? You start out with some base units and eventually tech into higher, stronger stuff. But in between those areas of where you transition into the next phase of the game, there are weak points. And it does seem like Dark especially is good at basically coming in that moment and doing something very decisive and punishing.
Yeah, that's definitely somewhere he's very strong.
So in this game, everything was mirroring except for the fact that Rogue is getting a Roach Warren here. And unless I'm missing something, Dark never made one.
You're right about that. What does that mean?
Yeah,
like it could be a safety Roach Warren. It could be that he wants to go for like an all-in here.
Yeah, we'll see if he keeps making Roaches what this means, because you know, Roach Ling Bane can be very strong, especially if you just have enough Roaches coming out and then you make Lings behind that.
Yeah, you're so right about that, because if you have Roaches, you can kind of snipe Banelings. Like, Roach Baneling back even in Wings of Liberty was a very strong way to play against a Ling Bane player. We don't really see it nowadays, I feel like, but there's a lot being made by Rogue. So yeah, he is going for it. He's pulling the trigger. He's sending his Roaches across, and it's going to be their job, basically, to keep the Banelings away from his Lings. And then his Banelings will protect his Roaches. It's a good little combo. Difficult to deal with. Keeps that Baneling alive.
Yeah, he's coming up now. Some more Banes are morphing. Is he going to dive on these ones that are morphing up here right now? He does not commit to them, and here they come.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, these are great snipes here with the Roaches taking out these other Banes. And he hasn't even really used his own Banes here yet.
And look, the Banes are going to have such a hard time getting in here.
I think this might have just succeeded here for Rogue. I think he basically pulled it off.
The micro really, really strong. Gets in there, picks off another Bane. The morphing Baneling will not end up finishing. The Roaches squeezing in through this hole, and Dark, who's up 11 drones, is getting mega punished for that. Look at that, his drones being killed off, and GG. Rogue picks up the first one.
Yeah, Rogue winning in the way that we kind of talked about. That's normally how Dark wins.
Yeah, he definitely caught him. Dark was getting a little bit greedy there. Didn't expect a little group of Roaches to come up and ruin his Ling Bane defense.
And also he had Banelings that were morphing in range of the Roaches. And once we saw, I think it was 4 or 5 Banes get killed outside the entrance, that's when you know it's over.
Yeah.
So nicely done. We're already in game number 2. That last game just lasting a few minutes. Romanticide will be our map. Map where you absolutely can turtle. You can have some very defensive games, but you don't have to in ZVZ.
That's very true.
ZVZ doesn't follow a lot of the same rules of the other matchups as far as, you know.
But if you want to turtle and try to get up to like Lurker or something, it's very doable.
All right, guys, our game's loaded up. Rogue vs. Dark. Game 2 starts now.
GSL Season 3, Codex.
That 12 pool, though. All right, Rogue with the first
Let's do it,
first
man.
12 pool of the night.
Well, let's not forget, I mean, Rogue is coming here to win GSL, but also to get revenge on, you know, what Dark pulled off. Dark, you know, kind of stole the spotlight from Rogue. And, you know, Rogue is so disproportionately more successful than other players, and he's kind of into that.
Even than Dark.
Yeah, even than Dark. And I mean, Dark is one of the all-time greats. But this is 12 pool versus Hatch first.
Yeah, Rogue coming up with a drone right now. And we'll see what degree that this is going to be, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can do a 12 pool. Like you can try to bring it into a more macro-esque play. You can try to go all in. We see drones pulled sometimes. Gas before pool. He's also made an additional drone. The drone scouts. Goes down to the third base area. Makes an offensive hatchery.
I almost had to do a double take there.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so he was making it and canceling to try to make a spine to walk up with.
You are right.
Yeah, but Jark was so on top of that.
That was crazy. I did the same thing. I thought that was like when people block with an eBay. I'm like, you're going to block a hatch with your own hatch. I'm like, this can't, the math doesn't seem to be here, you know? This can't be the way it's done. Regardless, though, the Lings are going to come forward here. The drone absolutely can just morph on top of this hatchery. A little bit of the momentum has been taken away here by Dark, but the rush will commence regardless, and this is going to be a tough one to stop.
Yeah, that is very difficult. Now, all the drones coming down. Let's see how much damage he can do to this economy.
Okay, he's going for the spine.
Yeah, and I mean, he can definitely like force a cancel on it, but
this is a lot
how
of
many
lost
drones
mining.
is he gonna lose if he does that?
Well, not that many so far.
Yeah, not too bad. He's only lost one. There's a lot of damage on several of them, though.
Oh, and he goes ahead and just engages these Lings up here into the main. You know, the decision-making here is what it's all about here. Micro, of course, matters, but really the way that Rogue is playing this, you know, if things get out of control too quickly, things will spiral out of control for Dark. But so far, Dark seems to have an extremely good handle on how to play this.
Yeah, some very good micro from Dark overall, fighting with those drones, getting the two queens out.
A pretty graceful defense here from Dark, to be totally honest with you. I mean, I think he handled every aspect of that attack before, you know, it even started when he made sure to get on top of that drone that wanted to be a spine.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to say that I'm also very impressed with is, or I think is funny, I guess is actually a better way to put it, the drone that made the spine, he actually got it home.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
he got it out of there, man. That's dedication right there.
Yeah.
He wanted that little drone to help him kill Dark, and it didn't work out, so now he's home mining, and he's going to try to make it up to Rogue by bringing him some extra minerals.
So, where does this game go from here? I mean, the worker count is almost the same. I do believe we have... no, I don't feel like there's anybody who's truly ahead. We've got Ling speed starting here, a lot more drones now coming out for Rogue. Now, obviously, with a build like that, if the rush fails, it's not the end of the world. By the way, a Roach Warren and an Evo Chamber here. This time it could be Dark with some Roach aggression.
Yeah.
But it's always hard to tell. Whenever you see a Roach Warren, it doesn't mean anything in one way. Yeah, you can't get a Roach Warren and just be like, if he attacks me, I'm going to have a couple roaches that I can kind of bend stuff off with.
It can be a fake as well, right?
It could be part of a wall in, you know?
There's another Evo going down now. He does start that +1 range attack, getting layer as well.
We do have two different directions in which this game is going. Dark has walled off, and like you were saying, Artosis, getting that +1 range, turtling and powering up. But on the other side of the map, Rogue is taking a third base of his own and developing into an economy play with an armor upgrade.
Yeah, that carapace is really interesting as well. So I think we're just going to see from Dark Roach speed research real quick and then try to apply pressure with that. But if you sit back like defensively with the quicker third hatchery, well, the thing is he going to stay defensive? Because if you're making the carapace upgrade and you're getting the Roach Warren, sometimes you use that to just go hit because now you have a big group of roaches that they benefit from the +1 carapace, not as much as from +1 attack, but then your Lings also benefit quite a bit. It comes up, and he's going to be able to force a cancel on this third hatchery from Dark. Dark's not going to be like too surprised that he has to cancel that.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was like a Christmas wish right there.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can get away with it, you'll take it, right? But if they do that, it's not the end. But because of the difference in the two build orders, basically Rogue needs to survive this next attack. If he can survive it, he's going to be in great shape. But there's a chance that Dark pummels the third base, maybe even runs Rogue over entirely.
Yeah, it looks a bit scary. I mean, the carapace will help. He has a good amount of lings. And it's romanticide, so it's hard for him to split up and come from two different sides. It's hard for him to switch which side he's attacking.
Yeah, you basically have to do one or the other. So I think especially when the initial engagement comes, that might be the most important point, is Rogue going to be ready to defend from whatever side he gets hit from. Overseer is shot down. Now, Rogue is getting quite a bit of roaches behind this. There is going to be an upgrade lead here, at least for now with Dark, but Rogue's getting that armor behind this.
And they're both on the same amount of workers, but look at Dark's army supply. Not really that high right now.
Yeah.
I think he's going to start to really explode his roach production. And
I feel like
is
Rogue's
he just like
in
missing any timing that he had here?
I feel like Rogue is just in a better spot overall.
Yeah. It didn't have to be this way, though.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit weird, man. Like
the way that Dark played it, it felt like it was one of these builds where you're going to run over with roach speed, but his lair wasn't super fast, so maybe he feels like he missed that. But he like committed so heavily to upgrades and everything before that third hatch. Okay, Spire coming up.
Just saw that Spire. That's going to get canceled.
Good cancel.
Yeah.
But I think Rogue is actually just going to attack and kill him.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, there's so much nuance to, having a perfect build against somebody that's a top player, but it just seems like Rogue had a better economic sexton that he followed, and now he's just here with a bigger, better army.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I got a lot of question marks about what Dark thought he was going to get away with.
Let's see. He hits with some vials there, bringing his queens out. We are closer to his rally points, but that's so many roaches for Rogue right now.
Yeah, well, the roach number is beginning to thin out. You can see he's really pushing in here. The drones have now been pulled. He's continuing to corner these Ravagers and eliminate them, and I believe this is going to be now a 2-0 lead for Rogue.
Yeah.
As the Queens disappear, the Roaches, the Ravagers, and the Spines. GG Rogue takes game 2 and is just one victory away from being the second player in the top 4 of GSL.
When Rogue is having a good tournament, he looks so different from everyone else. He just looks like he gets the game so much better.
He looks like he's a time traveler that went back in time. Like he's like, oh no, I'm from like 2040, and we know way more about StarCraft 2 there.
Yeah, we're all flies compared to him.
We are all cave people.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is an iPad. And I'm like, fire bad. Fire bad.
I thought you said fire pad.
I'm
like, no, the Amazon tablets are terrible. Don't get one of those. That would be what a caveman would make.
Light Shade for game 3. Either Dark starts to turn this around, or Rogue 3-0s and goes on to the Final 4. Ended that one a little bit too early. All right, here we go.
GSL Season 3, Codex. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Rogue. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark.
All right. Cool first here for Dark and for Rogue. That's interesting. Rogue, though, with the gas.
Yeah, we're seeing Rogue come in here extremely prepared. This is actually one of the things that's so haunting about watching Rogue when he's on top of his game is I think it's easy to miss out on just how well planned he is. We talk about this with like, an SOS or Parting or some of these guys where they come in there and I'm like, wow, you really knew how to prep for this. But Rogue's prep seems to be so deep dive that it's almost confusing how he's outplaying them this well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Sometimes he completely shifts the whole paradigm, like against Maru, and then other times he just like is 3 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
Well, it's almost superhuman when you're watching it. Like in that last game, his rush was thwarted. He stopped. The rush was stopped, and generally that's pretty good for the defender.
Yeah,
but
he had 2 queens before they were even started. He had his hatchery up quicker, and he was up drones.
Yeah,
and
then,
he like Rogue smashed him from there.
You know, basically from there, that game was one that, and this can go unappreciated if you're not really familiar with StarCraft. There's like a build order war going on either side of the map. They're both like trying to get ahead in their own way, and Rogue ran circles around Dark in that last game. Like it looked kind of weird to us, where it's like, well, isn't he just like setting up for a 2-base Roach timing? And then Dark expands later. Dark looked at it and is like, oh man, he's actually ready for it. Okay, I gotta try to do this now. And by then, Rogue's too late. He's already got the benefits of that 3rd base, and it's why when Rogue is really well prepared, he just looks unstoppable.
Yeah. And look at the weirdness of what we're seeing here. Like he has a slightly slower hatchery, but he's gonna have ling speed a little bit quicker, and he already has a Baneling Nest on the way. I think he's gonna run across the map and kill Dark. Dark though, dude, he's up 6 workers.
Yeah.
But okay, he starts a spine. That's important.
Yeah, I like where the spine's put there too.
I didn't see where was it.
It's like below the hatchery next to the geyser.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
in a really safe spot. A lot of people would put it up in the front, and then
it helps on the ramp too. That's
Yeah.
really good. I like that.
Yeah. Especially having it on the ramp where you can basically have your army kind of attack out. So the position's pretty good for Dark, but let's see how Rogue decides to handle this.
No, he's going
here we go.
pretty heavily all in here. The Queen's going to help trying to target down this spine. Okay. He gets a cancel on it. Oh, kills off so many lings there.
He basically knows he can hit the hatchery, and the Queens can't really retaliate. So the hatchery's going to go down. I think this game's actually over.
Okay, let's see.
Wow.
Pulls away. Those broodlings. Dark. I love this from Dark, right? He ran 2 lings through the center of the map, and during the chaos, he is now making them into Bane. So there's a possibility that he actually just blows up a huge amount of drones here, like 6-7 drones.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like Rogue was aware. You know, StarCraft 2 moves so fast. Even players like Rogue can miss something on the minimap. And he's basically trying to draw attention here, but really, it's going to be about this attack over here in the main. 9!
Oh my god, even more than I thought it would be. Look at that, 12 workers against 21. And Rogue is starting to drone. Okay. Dark's got fighting spirit, Tasteless.
Yeah, that was like...
He's not breaking Dark.
Literally the only way that Dark could pull his way back into this game.
Awesomely done.
And what looked like, you know, Rogue's final moments before he has cemented the win and would be going to the interview, Dark, with the ace up his sleeve, detonated those lings here and has now dropped the worker count behind. Now, that being said, 2 hatches is a lot better than 1 the longer the game goes on. I mean, you just get to make more stuff from it. So,
that's true.
Although those were killed off, the math is a little bit fuzzy for me on this one. I think Rogue can still outproduce drones.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just ahead in drones by the time this finishes. He has a Roach Horn coming up. The lair is pretty fast here from Dark. I think Dark might go into Mutalisk from here. I mean, he already has a Spine. He's already sitting back defensively with the Ling Bane. I could see that being the case. You don't have a lot of larvae to work with? Like, doesn't seem like a bad choice.
I think it makes sense. I think this is a pretty natural transition to take. Now, there's some more roaches coming here. Is there going to be a second attack? I feel like there is here from Rogue.
Oh, yes. Rogue is making roaches right now.
Yeah, and 8 of them at that. Now, the Spire's coming, but the Spire doesn't build that fast. So there's going to be a period where Rogue is going to have a second attack in here, and Dark is going to be extremely vulnerable. But if he holds it and the mutas come out, he's going to have the opportunity to try to do damage and kill workers on the other side of the map. And he'll be able to take a third while keeping Rogue on 2 bases.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hold unless he makes a few more spines. Okay, he's making a second spine. That's important. but 2 spines, I don't know if that will quite be enough, even with 3 queens.
Here we go.
Okay, he sees it now. He should throw down a ton of spines.
And they're coming,
Yeah.
but, are they going to be ready in time?
He's just throwing down as many as he can, making extra banelings here as well. He might just try to blow up the group of roaches.
Yeah.
This is tough. He has a lot of transfusions, though.
That is true. That's very handy for those spines. I think he may have enough spines to actually deal with this, especially with the way
they take so long to make, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, here come those banelings. He is trying to blow up the roaches. Oh, the good spread, though, from Rogue.
The first transfuse comes down on the queen, a second on another queen here. And it's just spines and queens now. There's 14 more links being made. One Muta has started.
Wow, what a hold.
That was wild.
What a hold. Well, I guess it's not completely over yet. Making a Ravager, continuing to rally in. Dark, I mean, Rogue is very, very all in here.
Yeah, he is. I mean, the game is still going to go on for now. I mean, this rush is still happening. Another spine goes down. There's basically 2 in the back here. Now, some mutas are going to hatch. And, that, although there's nothing that can really hit the Mutalisks here unless you got really lucky with a Corrosive Bile, I don't know that the mutas are going to kill this off in time. It seems like this is beginning to snowball.
Yeah.
Things are spiraling out of control here for Dark. Another queen falls. The last queen. That's it. GG. Dark is victorious. Barely hanging on there.
Yeah, those 2 banelings making all the difference.
What
Rogue
a
was
story.
so far ahead before those 2 banes came in. But that was a great move from Dark to utilize his 2 links like that. He knew that this was going to be a very hard thing to hold. He ran those up. He hit them. There was a lot of micro, a lot of chaos. Rogue lost track of the fact that there were 2 links in his base.
But, that was like
got punished.
a 1 in 100 game moment. But honestly, when you look at Dark and Rogue so far here, I mean, Rogue has just come in here with better planning. Dark can't just recreate that situation in a game 4, game 5. It's extremely unlikely.
Yeah, that's the important
issue.
thing. It's not something you can just recreate, whereas what Rogue has done, you can't.
Quick break, guys. We'll be right back.
Here's what I like. Jumping from a roof that is almost too high. Laying on the grass, I close my eyes. Playing my guitar till my fingers are numb. Oh, I always try to let my spirit fly away. That's the only way to get that high.
어려워도 이렇게 멈추면 내가 아니지.
오늘이 보여.
새로운 나를 만든다. 나의 레벨은 다르다. 어나더 레벨 핫6.
이렇게 좋은 날엔 홈캠핑이지. 홈캠핑엔 고기, 고기엔 칠성사이다. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함.
완벽하네.
칠성사이다.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
Round of 8. Zest. Dream. Road. Dark. 2021 GSL Season 3 Codex. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live 2021 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back. This has been a pretty dramatic series so far. Dark has been holding his own, but honestly, Rogue looks absolutely terrifying in this matchup. Had Dark not made those two Banes in a surprise attack, killing 9 drones in the blink of an eye, and then barely holding off the all-in from Rogue, we would already have Rogue moving on to the round of 4. Now, Rogue, I would say for about 90% of the series, has basically looked bigger, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah. Those two Banelings were those bested him, but
other than that, yeah, Rogue was.
I would be
really
very surprised if Dark can swing this back.
Yeah, well, wish him luck, man. He needs to win 2 more in a row. Otherwise, Rogue is moving on to the round of 4.
GSL Season 3 Codex. Dragon Phoenix Gaming Rogue. Dragon Phoenix Gaming Dark.
Another cheese coming out of Rogue. Gas pool. Or that Overlord.
And this is Hatch first.
Yep.
Wow, okay. Now it doesn't look like we're gonna have anything.
Oh, it's this build. Yes. Okay, so notice how the hatcheries are basically timed the same. He is going to pool a bunch of speedlings in his main base, then just run out.
Oh, yep, makes sense.
Crazy.
You're very low on workers, but what happens is, and this is all, when you spot something, especially if it's the first building that you see and it's at the same, timed out the same time as yours, it's very easy to look at that and just assume, okay, we both win hatch first. And so then you go, well, let's get a couple more drones here because he can't
Yes.
attack me. And it's actually the opposite. It's a perfect setup. And this is basically designed to punish a player who's really smart.
Yeah. I mean, the hatchery's a couple seconds later, like 5 seconds later, so...
That can be very easy to miss.
Yeah.
And so basically this will be triggered the moment the first set of lings hatch at the natural. Everything will spill out. And this is
I think
intended.
he has to basically wait, like, as speed is finishing, you go.
Yeah.
Right? And you've cut so much in this build. Look, he's down 10 workers right now.
He's economically barely in this.
Yeah, he's getting a drone down there.
So look, it looks like an expand, but he's even sending a drone over there.
And look,
at
he even
that.
makes a couple lings at the natural
like
here.
Here are my 2 lings. All right, I'm going to try to get in your base now because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he runs past the Overlord, so you can't see that speed finishes. Oh, God, he's going for a third. Okay, so Rogue goes on the round of 4.
Yeah, Rogue really, every little detail of the way he behaved, it looked like a macro build.
Yeah.
And
then now
dun,
Dark's
dun,
going to
dun.
shake his head. He needs to make a bunch of spines, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, these lings are going to get there too quickly.
It's like, I'll just make 2 banelings in the main. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not going to work this time.
All right, here he comes.
Oh, man. It's just, there's so many speedlings here.
And he has chewed his way through this. The Queen's the last line of defense. More drones come down. And Rogue is happy to try to fight that off as well. 1 Queen goes down. The lings continuing to deal damage. The worker count almost even here as more and more lings come in. And there's just nothing left. A couple slow lings are hatching. Ling speed not quite done yet here for Dark.
I gotta say, like, he actually did a pretty decent job holding that. The drone count is the same, and now suddenly Dark has a lot of lings, and there's... Huh.
Yeah, I guess he knew that.
I thought he was going to be able to break through a little bit quicker there and get that critical damage, but they're actually, like, basically even here.
Well, how many queens are in the game right now for
One for
Dark?
both.
Oh, I guess that's right. Yeah, he only made 1. Rogue only made 1 queen this game.
Yeah, Rogue is still making lings. Baneling Nest on the way here for Dark.
And if he can get a couple banelings out, basically this ling attack ends. 3rd hatchery was canceled. I think we're back to square 1.
It seems like Rogue is just going to keep going. He's just going to keep pulling that trigger. Like you said, a couple banelings are going to really screw this up for him.
Yeah, well, the baneling's nest should be done now. So, I mean, I think there's a window of another minute here before this is just not going to work. Now he comes in here really
Dark's
good.
actually going to take it. I could have sworn
think so.
he was going to break him, Tease.
No, I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit this as well as he could have. It's funny because you were talking about how Dark would shake his head. I guess he looked at this and said, no, I know this exactly.
Fight with every drone and the 2 queens on the ramp. That was, I mean, it was beautifully done. Beautiful hold.
Now, right now, map control still goes to Rogue. But I don't know, man. 12 workers to 14.
Huge difference.
When you're that low, it is a pretty big difference. You know, if it's something like 45 to 47, it doesn't mean as much. But when it's 12 to 10, it's like, well, no, that's a
it's a
much,
a big
yeah,
totally. And like, look, he's got banelings too, so it's not just that. Yeah, he has less army supply. There's a lot of lings out, but Rogue is trying to drone here. I like this push from Dark.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
So Rogue is actually up in drones now, but just now started his Baneling Nest. So this is very problematic what's coming for him.
Yeah, I don't know that Rogue's going to have a real answer here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. With the Queen surround here. Okay, this should be over.
Like, what do you even do against these Banelings walking
No,
up?
you have no real way to retaliate against the Banes. And he killed off 9 drones so far.
Oh, my God.
Another Bane detonates. Banes are continuing to come across the map, but Rogue's Baneling Nest is just now finishing.
He's got 10 workers to 21. Seems pretty difficult for him to do anything here.
Okay, another big detonation on these drones. I feel like we're very close to the end of this. Oh, man. Ooh.
Yeah, we're down to 8 workers now. So
Yeah.
far
Oh, my
less than you
God.
start with. Oh, man.
GG.
Okay, so now suddenly it's 2-2.
All right, this is quite the series. I gotta say, man, Dark is barely hanging on against all this insanity. But look, he did it. He only needs to do it one more time. Now I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Well,
the
after that
disrespect from Rogue, too. Try to just insta-win that. And
maybe
then,
that is respect, though.
And then Dark just like, oh, okay, well, I'll just only lose exactly enough drones so that we're even, and then I'll have a tech advantage and win with a push. Easy peasy. You think that's the first time I've seen that? I stop that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a build that we've seen a couple times in GSL. It's not that popular,
Yeah.
but it's so tricky. I thought for sure he was just going to break him. Great hold. And Dark going to go to the washroom, going to reset his brain a little bit here. It's been a tough series. What do you think? Do you think maybe he busts out a cheese here to try to advance?
I don't know, man.
Rogue's been so aggressive. Isn't it time for Hatch first?
I feel like Rogue has... I thought it was going to be Dark doing a lot more rushes and crazy builds, and Rogue kind of like deflecting everywhere, and then eventually having more and winning. And it's been a much more action-packed series than I thought. We've had very short games for CVZ.
Yeah. CVZ,
Really,
I mean, it can be very fast.
Sure,
Definitely can go long as well.
I mean, let's see. Let's see what he wants to do. There's so many different ways to play this. Again, these guys, they know each other and each other's play styles so well. A lot of what Rogue's done is to basically set up and kind of play around what he thinks Dark's going to do. But even when Rogue is basically getting to do what he wants, like in that last game, if it's too aggressive, it seems like Dark is just good enough to stop it perfectly, and then with that like 10% lead, close it out.
Yeah.
So I think, and it's hard to get into like the mind of someone like Rogue, because I really think what he does is almost always so advanced, few people can understand it. But I don't think he needs to actually do a build that is going to be too all in. I think he needs to open up with some kind of strategy, but not one that is so hinged on the element of surprise.
Yeah. Well,
I think a good timing, hiding information. I do think Rogue is a better player in a long game.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing I was thinking about, where if Rogue just gets into a longer game, he's better with Lurker Viper.
Yeah.
That's not in question. It's not that Dark is bad with that, but it's not really his style. And that's like where Rogue really has his strength. So let's get into Oxide, our final map. The winner of this might be the favorite of GSL.
This is so exciting. What a great ZVZ so far. Now we settle it. Rogue versus Dark tied up. The winner of this final game goes to the second spot in the round of 4 of the GSL Codex.
GSL Season 3 Codex. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Rogue.
The way that Rogue has played this, the one thing Dark's not going to do this game is overdrone. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's like where he's getting him.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark.
On the wins and even these closer games, right? It looked like Rogue was ahead in both the games he lost. I guess that last one, technically, he was not, because he never actually got the damage done. But if you look at them, right, like Dark will go up like 6, 8, 10 drones, and suddenly those are all units for Rogue, and he hits.
Yeah.
So that's something that Dark has to be really cognitive of. He has to really be careful not to do that. So I think it's almost like Rogue has, like, he kind of set up for a game that would actually be a good macro game for him.
Sure.
Because Dark should be like, oh my god, he's just cheesing me every time. Okay, I got to be careful. I got to not overmake drones. Maybe make sure I have, a couple extra units.
Well, for now, we can't really tell what kind of game this is going to be. Things are basically mirrored for the time being. But I will say I'll be happy no matter who moves on here. And Dark, again, is really able to match Rogue here. If Dark can win again, we might have to start to rethink who's the best ZVZer in the country.
Huh.
You know, it's because Rogue wins so consistently, but this is the second time they're facing off. And, you know, Rogue got that 2-0 lead, and I thought it was going to be a quick 3-0 after that.
Yeah.
But Dark's fought back well, but I do worry that Rogue is a little bit more well-rounded if we can get past, you know, the two-base mind games. But I would love to be proven wrong by that as well.
Yeah, for me personally, I just want to see Rogue set like every record, you know?
Yeah.
Let's get another player with 4 GSL wins.
Yeah, well, he'll be the one to do it if anybody can.
Absolutely.
But honestly, if Dark wins here and then wins the tournament, that's an insane way.
Oh, yeah.
To end Season 3.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, wow, okay.
2 in a row is pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa, Zerg Mario. He's like, you can just call me Dark. I'm Dark. I'm one of the best Zergs.
I have value as well.
You don't have to compare me to Mario. That's actually insulting to me. Like,
you're like, yeah, you're right. You're half Mario right now.
So 10lings are being made here for Rogue. He will once again be leaning into aggression.
Is he going to make more? Okay,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
it is.
there it
There it is. Because 10, I'm like, okay.
No, you could have 6 drones come out right after that, but there's just more and more lings coming here. This is
Yeah, he's going to try to force a cancel.
Yeah, this is a similar idea to what we had in the last game, although the play is not as dramatic.
Yeah.
But this is like a straightforward way to go where you can just flood the third and maybe force a cancel and then just play a conservative game from there on out where you're ahead.
And he's going drones from there, by the way. So, just something to mention. Okay, going after it. The Baneling Nest is about to finish for Dark, but he's not going to get Banelings in time to save this third.
No, there's nothing he can do to stop this from being canceled. So it gets canceled, the drone is killed, mission success, and immediately after this, he escapes. He'll have Banelings back at home. And like I said before, you basically want to play a conservative game. You say, all right, I have more bases, let's get a few more drones, and then let's get ready for one of 2 things that can come. Either A, a timing attack, or B, he tries to take a later third and defend, both of which Rogue is basically, at least on paper, at an advantage.
Yeah. I think Dark is just going to attack. Yeah, he just added 2 gases. He has +1 range on the way. Yeah, I mean, that has to be what it is he's just going to go for an attack here. But like you said, like Rogue is going to be pretty much on top of this, know what's happening. Lots of Lings and Banes on the way. Rogue is up 5 drones. It's not that many. Look, he sends a drone over here. We'll get picked off by the Ling. But just seeing that drone makes you think, oh, okay, well, he wants to take a third.
Yeah.
Does he, though?
Now, Dark needs this attack to succeed. If you fail and the attack burns out and Rogue is sitting on 3 bases while you're still only on 2, or on at least a late third for that matter, you're fine. Now, seeing this hatchery may make him think he's actually going to be okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, it might be that second option that you were talking about as well. The powering up and just kind of
I kind of decided it was going to be a timing attack, but you're right. It looks like it's actually...
I thought it would be the way he was kind of taking his gases and...
Well, this is a tougher...
He didn't take the third that quickly.
This is a tougher path to take, for sure.
It is.
You're basically trying to play from behind. And you really, if you're going to win like this as Dark, you have to play perfectly.
It's a tough situation. Trying to come up and mix it up a little bit here with the Ling Bane, but of course with Roaches out, it's not going to be much of a problem for Rogue. Rogue up 13 workers and same army supply. Yeah, I guess he even has quicker Roach speed. Oh, I just don't like it for Dark. Not that an all-in would have worked. Like maybe he feels like even though they're both losing prospects, he has a little bit more play with this. You know, as a game stretches out, you have more opportunities to make something happen.
Okay, that's a surprise.
The please pause from Rogue. Wonder what that's all about.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It didn't seem like anything occurred that... All right, something's going on with his PC. I don't know. Maybe monitor.
Oh, I think something might have been falling on his booth or something.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that could be as well.
Doesn't want to get Gumiho'd?
Oh, poor Gumiho, man.
Such an iconic moment.
Yeah.
The only time a booth has collapsed on a pro
People
gamer.
say being a pro gamer isn't dangerous. I just show them that gif. I think they're just going to duct tape something.
Is that what's happening, really?
I believe that's duct tape they have there.
You're right. Yeah, something was falling down. Is that like... I actually never really go up on stage. It's been a long time since I've been up there. Is that just like black cardboard on plexiglass?
Some of the booths they use in esports are pretty flimsy. I don't actually know. I do come in here in the middle of the night when everything's closed and, sit in the chair and go like, tasteless.
Yeah.
You're the champion. But I've never noticed how the booths are. I come down here in the middle of the night, I put on all the pro gamer outfits, and it's like way too small on me and stuff. I'm sweating into it.
I thought Dark smelled like you today.
That's right. And then I go, yeah. I have myself casting me winning the tournament in my head. Oh, Tasteless is being Dark. He's too good. And then I walk up and I kiss the trophy.
Yeah.
I put my mouth all over the trophy, and then I put it back down. And
well, I'm glad you get to live out your fantasy somehow.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go back into it.
You know what I do, Tasteless, when I sneak in at night is I go up to Kevin's office and I sit in his chair and then I just stamp papers. I go, there will be GSL next year. And that's how I live out my fantasy.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, meanwhile, there's some roaches attacking.
Yeah, he's up 20 army supply right now.
Yeah, this is a lot. We got to watch how the Banes connect, but the math is not looking good here for Dark. The Lynx coming in from behind, allowing for a healthy concave against Dark here. I do not know that he can hang on.
He doesn't have enough.
No.
His drone's coming down to fight, but the roach count is so strong here. More roaches are coming out. Don't forget, we are over on Dark's side of the map, but he loses 12 workers.
It just seems like there's a little bit too much. More roaches now coming here from the bottom right and the bottom left. I think it actually is possible Dark survives this narrowly, but again, those worker kills were huge. A dozen workers die off, putting now Dark behind, and there's a couple different ways I think Ro can play this from here. He can try to power up and hit in again, or he can try to expand it to a fourth base and play a macro game. He does continue to take the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely way up in workers, but I think he should actually sit home and just macro for a minute. Right? When you kill a bunch of workers, but you lose some of your army due to that, a lot of people make the mistake of attacking again instantly. What you should really do is let that deficit kick in a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So he comes up, and actually the roach count right now is higher for Dark. So, see, it just hasn't really caught up to him, that that time in between when you lose the workers and when it actually hurts. So Rogue runs back to his own creep.
He's got
Should have enough here now.
Yeah, very healthy position here. That I think you're totally right, though. You need to let that deficit actually kind of pan out. Because for the time being, they did make enough roaches in that fight that they are still even with you, or maybe even ahead.
Okay, Dark gets back onto his own creep. 2-1 is on the way here. We already have +2 for Dark. So they're very similar as far as upgrades go. Ravagers starting on both sides. And the more that this looks, even if it looks even, I feel like that is slight advantage Rogue. And he does have just like a slight advantage anyway, so that makes it easier to say that. But, if Dark can't really get anything done, then that's where Rogue might be able to get into that end game.
Yeah.
He is just so strong at.
Well, it's a very straightforward game from here. It's kind of like textbook StarCraft. If you can get some kind of edge here early on, and then just stay ahead the whole game, look for a really safe opportunity to attack and to win, you've got it. There's a lot more pressure here and a lot more complexity from Dark's position if he's going to succeed.
An Overseer coming in, and it's going to be able to scout the Spire that got started here by Rogue.
There's a couple different decisions.
I think, right? Was the Spire at the main?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
okay,
right
so
down
you
there
saw
below
it.
the extractor.
And, I mean, what is the choice here as Dark? Do you max out on Roach Ravager and try to attack as he's making mutas? Because that's always a very strong move. We have Burrow and Burrow movement on the way here for Rogue. His Spire is almost done. He's maxed out.
Okay, now that's a pretty big deny. Is he going to try to, I was going to say, it might not be a good idea to attack into that area over there. And the idea is basically, you know, if Dark doesn't get a 4th base, he just dies. And so what Rogue's doing now is taking his lead in Roaches and Ravagers and basically controlling the map. And, you know, there's only 2 places Zerg can expand to, or I should say Dark can expand to here. And again, 4 bases versus 3 in a mirror matchup, I think it speaks for itself. Obviously, you have a huge lead, and you'll continue to maintain that lead as long as you have more bases.
But Dark, they're actually playing each other's positions, kind of, right? Like, the guy with Roach Ravager map control is Rogue instead of Dark, and the guy going Lurker is Dark instead of Rogue.
Right.
So now they kind of are playing in the position the other player is maybe a little bit more used to. And we'll see how they can do with that. Honestly, when I look at these positions, I do like where Dark is going as far as Lurker tech. We haven't seen that yet for Rogue.
So he burrows the Roaches there to heal up. And he's going to try to push up here into this 3rd.
Yeah, he's trying to get him to split his units wrong.
Yeah, this is a pretty good angle right now for Rogue if he can get it set up correctly. And he just dives in.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, he's going to be emptying supply here to make something else behind this.
Yeah, I think he might be okay, he's actually massing Roaches.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was weird, because the dive-in made me feel like he was going to go Muta, but instead he's just making Roach.
Yeah, I thought literally that's what he's going to do. Now, there's a big counterattack here, but I guess if he's just going Roach, he can just match this and probably win this fight here as well.
Yeah, his harassment Roaches, we'll see if they can really get anything done. It doesn't seem like they're going to. Maybe if you use the Burrow movement, it'd be a bit more helpful, but Lurkers are being made. Dark is up here in Rogue's base.
Oh
it
my
comes
God.
around, stops that. Ooh, the flank is real.
The round is insane.
But the Lurker flank comes up, and he doesn't have detection here. So his army in the back is starting to get shredded by these 2 Lurkers.
Yeah, he kind of carves a hole in there. The 4th base for Dark is going to finish. It's just going to be enough to Dark push through here.
Yeah,
oh
this base is gone, but that means it's 3 base versus 3 base again.
Well, no, it's going to be 3 base versus 4. That 4th hatchery is finishing up. And
now we are in like complete opposite positions here. Look at this. It's
can't
Ravagers against Lurkers, but
he's got detection. There's still 1 Lurker here, though.
Yeah, he's hitting some of these biles. It looks like he'll clear this army.
Yeah, and taking that fight, I think the action's going to seesaw back up to the north. This time, Rogue with the ability to probably stamp out the 4th base of Dark.
Yeah, Dark does not have that much. He does have some Lurkers being made, but I don't think they're going to be here in time to save this hatch.
Yeah, this is the safer play. I was going to say, I wonder if there's merit in just trying to attack into the natural or the 3rd and trying to end it, but it seems like the conservative choice is going to be the one that Rogue's going to take here, just killing that base off, reclaiming his own 4th.
Well, I think if you try to attack there and he happens to have his Lurkers ready, you're in terrible shape.
Sure.
Because then maybe he's able to actually keep his 4th alive, and then you're definitely behind. As is, I would say, still, this is not the end of the game at all for Dark.
A lot of
He's got those
Overlords
Lurkers.
are getting hit here with these biles.
Yeah, he does have a lot of Overlords out.
And we're not seeing him tech out. It seems like Dark wants to advance and tech, and really Rogue is locked into Roach Ravager here.
It's
pretty sick.
He's killing like every Overlord.
Well, if you have enough Ravagers, you can basically hit every area where the Overlord could go.
Yeah, and it's quick enough too against these slow ones. If you don't immediately course correct, you're going to hit them.
And now he can start to try to hit these Lurkers. It's kind of like siege tanks. Of course, these can unsiege a little bit more quickly. Did Rogue just do it? Now, the Lurkers are, doing a decent job of defending here, but over time, you can start to see that Rogue is going to chisel away at the position.
And there's a lot of Lurkers here. Oh, and look, he's juggling them so quickly as well. Very well done. Coming up, trying to actually get the kill. The Lurker's coming down from the natural ramp, but it seems like Rogue might have done it here. He is starting to really break through at this point. The Biles just punishing everything. I mean, it's burrow and unburrow instantly here to even stay alive. A lot more drones have been killed. Very little army supply remains here for Dark.
If he can get into this position here, I think it's going to be over. And I just don't see enough roaches over here for Dark to be able to hang on. This should be the end of this match with Rogue defeating Dark 3-2.
Yeah, what a crazy match this turned out to be. It seemed like Rogue was dominating, but we've definitely had some back and forth games at this point. Killing off the rest of what Dark has. He takes his hands off the keyboard and mouse, and that is GG Rogue to the top 4.
What a great ZVZ series that was. Rogue moves on, and now I don't know that there's anybody left in this tournament who can stop him.
Has he ever lost the best of 7?
No.
There you go. There you have it. Rogue is our champion. That was the finals.
That's it. We're going to call off the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. Maybe, I'll come in and cast it for you
Zest
guys
is
anyways.
there?
But
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah.
No, we didn't play any games, but tough break for Dark. You know, it could have gone either way. Again, these guys are so evenly matched. I love the deep dive of the ZVZ. You know, with two of the greatest Zerg players of all time battling it out. It was a back and forth final game, but ultimately Rogue locking into Roach Ravager, overcoming and punishing Lurker Tech. That was the way to do it. We're going to go to an interview now with Rogue and see how he's feeling. He is the second player to get into the Final Four of GSL Code S Season 3.
Yeah, fantastically done. Clutch victory there at the end. Here we go.
Wow, what a neck and neck match that was. But in the end, it is Dragon Phoenix Gaming Rogue defeating Dark. Congratulations. Thank you. Now you successfully take your revenge against Dark, who you lost to last season. How do you feel? In the last game, I thought I lost the game at start. So I made a big mistake. And I said this will be a reverse sweep by Dark. I really wanted to win in the last game. You know, I'm really happy because I thought I lost the game, but I won. Yes, you probably thought this might be a reverse sweep match, right? So there definitely has been a lot of worries for you during the game. I had plenty of resources in the last game, so I tried to go for the consumption battle. But then Dark probably thought he lost the game as well. But he probably spotted some timings that he could have opted for. But I think he was nervous. I think he was nervous too. And then, you know, luckily I was able to get the win in the end. So Rogue, you focused on the early game the most today. So is there a special reason for that? I mean, Dark is spectacular at late games, so I thought I shouldn't go for the late game against him. And I do not go for the all-in rushes in the ZVT and the ZVP. I only use these all-in rushes in ZVZ. So I did prepare a lot of all-in strategies. I mean, the head-to-head record is pretty favored against Dark. It feels like you're admitting Dark as your nemesis. I mean, if you have a look at the head-to-head record between me and Dark, the wins that I have are pretty much all the all-in games. So you successfully take your revenge against Dark, and now you have your big chance at lifting the trophy this year, this GSL. So you do want to gain your fourth GSL victory and add one more badge to your t-shirt. So now your round of 4 opponent will be Zest. I mean, he's one of the best product players out there for sure. He's almost as good as Trap, definitely. He's a very solid player. But I do feel like he lacks in the late games, so I'm gonna have to beat him in the late game. So you're saying he's a top tier Protoss, but he lacks the late game, okay. Alright, we look forward to your round of 4 performance, Rogue, so anything you want to say? I didn't have that long of a preparation time, so I thought I played a little bit awkwardly today. But since this is a ZBP and I have a long preparation time, I'm going to try to prepare for an exciting and an entertaining match in round of 4. Once again, congratulations. Thank you.
Rogue moves on. Can anybody stop him? That's the question.
Well, as much as I love Zest, I'm not sure if he's going to be up to that task. No one has been able to take Rogue down at this stage of the tournament.
Yeah, that's it for day 1 of the round of 8. We are going to be closing day 2 out on Thursday, as we are always on now Mondays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. KST. It's going to be Trap versus Mario and Cure versus Party. 2 PDTs that should be pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's so much fun, actually. The Party and Cure one is surprisingly interesting.
Yeah, well, Cure looked really, really good.
Yeah, he did.
Partying is very hungry to win a GSL, and Partying, besides Rogue, might be the guy who could just take the tournament. Mario, you don't want to count out, though. Trap is really amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, after this entire week, we have a week off. It is Korean Thanksgiving out here. So you won't see us for a little bit. GSL will resume the week after that.
That's right. And of course, Trap vs. Mario, I mean, we're not really talking about it as much, but it really is, this is a finals level match. The best Protoss versus the best Terran.
Yeah, and there's a lot of very interesting matches that we could end up depending on who moves on, and I think all of them are really interesting. Whether it's a PVT or a mere match.
Any finals at this point will be very good.
Yeah.
I can't come up with actually a bad finals. And oftentimes you can look at a bracket and be like, yeah, no, I see 1 or 2 that don't look very good.
Or not likely to move on.
Like
they are good, but it's like, well, you're probably not going to be.
Like, let's say if Dream was still in Dream versus Trap, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I think that's a 4-0.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're in for a good season. Hopefully, unless Rogue just Hulk smashes everyone, which he does from time to time.
Yeah, if there's always a possibility that Rogue just one-sidedly dominates, and that's it. But yeah, it's been a great season so far.
Indeed, it has. Guys, we'd like to remind you that the ASL casts are up on the Africa TV YouTube. Definitely do check those out. The newest episode should be up like today.
I believe that's correct.
I think it's being uploaded right now, but it might even be up there already.
It might be up there. If not now, then probably tomorrow. But we're getting them uploaded as quickly as possible. All spoiler-free. And you don't want to miss that. That's your homework. So you come join us again
Watch
live.
ASL until you have GSL. Yes. Okay. It's been a lot of fun here today, Tasteless. I don't know. With Rogue in the best of 7 area now that he never loses in, his prep being so strong, I think he's right. He's already analyzed Zest very clearly that he's going to have a hard time in the late game. How does Zest overcome that? I'm like, oh, God.
I mean, I think it's the same kind of analysis we would have said, even if he hadn't said that. It does seem to be kind of apparent. There's going to be some issues here for Zest. I think Zest, as a player and his style overall, doesn't seem to really match up against the other styles and the other players that we have here. He's very good at what he does, but does seem like there's other players that have found a more efficient, effective way to win.
Yeah, well, when they get to late game, that is where he's a little bit weaker. We talk about it a lot, how he's very much a mid-game player.
When you hear someone like Rogue say that, like, oh, yeah, you're just not good at this part of the game, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Zest better bring some new, fresh stuff. He says he's really passionate right now, and he's playing well, so... I mean, Prime Zest can beat anyone, including Rogue.
Sure.
Like, Zest's best play can win that.
We'll just have to see. Is that it? Can we close the show out?
No, Tasteless.
No, we must keep talking. There's more to say. All right, now we can close it out. Guys, we'll see you Thursday. We love you. Check out the ASL. Bye-bye.